Coming up on SEO Lunch, Google releases lots of great updates. Find out how they affect your small business.
Things like Google Maps, Google Plus, and Google Penguin are all going to dominate search. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of SEO Lunch. I'm your host, Matt.
And I'm Dan.
This is the show where we take all the top SEO web marketing news of inbound.org, smash them together, and give you the top 10, 12 stories of the week.
That's a lot of stories.
It is a lot of stories. We want to hit over 1,000 subscribers because Google is now going to let us do some live streaming stuff if we get over 1,000 users, subscribers.
Exciting.
So I can't wait to do that.
We're over 800 now, guys, so thank you for your support. We deeply, deeply appreciate it. Speaking of Google, this week's episode focuses a lot on the juggernaut. So I want to just jump right into it. First thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about Matt Cutts' video of what you should expect in the next few months in terms of SEO with the upcoming launch of Penguin 2.0. We want you to know what that's all about.
Next up, we have Google releasing their new Google Maps. I saw that on Google I.O. That was very awesome. Can't wait to talk about that.
Going along the same lines where they're going to talk about Google Plus and some of the changes that are being implemented there for local businesses. Pretty exciting stuff.
10 unique small ways small businesses can win at link earning, part 1 of 2. This one's over at Search Engine Journal.
And then we're going to piggyback off that article. You'll see why when we get there. With the advantages of long-form content, Barry Adams of State of Search basically saying long-form content is the way to go. Short-form is not the way to go.
And our resource of the week, 8 pro tips to dodge Penguin 2.0 penalization over at the next generation of SEO.
That's our resource of the week.
What did I say?
I don't know what you said.
Okay. I thought I said resource. Maybe I said tool.
Maybe I wasn't paying attention. I have no idea.
Let's jump into the first one. Matt Cutts, his YouTube video, super, super interesting. If you haven't seen this yet, definitely go out and watch this. So by the time this airs, it's probably already 2 weeks old. But still worth the rewatch. What you should, and this is coming right from the horse's mouth of Google and where they see SEO going, and kind of the maturation process of not just link building and keywords and all that stuff anymore, but social and video and other content stuff. Yeah, it
was really cool listening to it. Obviously, well, not obviously. Penguin 2.0 is coming out in a few weeks, and when this was aired, probably a week or so, or a couple weeks after that. So a couple of things that were brought up about this new change is that obviously, always going to be efforts to get rid of like some of the spammier link sites. Particularly, Matt Cutts talks about payday loan sites and pornographic content websites, and then getting rid of hack sites as well. Two things that were interesting, though, that he mentioned. I don't know how deeply you got into it. One thing he said was being an authority will help you rank higher. I wrote Rutro here on the links. I'm not sure how that's going to look and if there are going to be problems with that, with people spamming out, I don't know, going to certain authorships for content.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think with authority, what you're building is you're building a brand. It's the same thing.
Right.
You are the authority of pizzas, of WordPress, of whatever, and as long as the traffic coming to your site sees you as an authority,
right,
that's the advantage.
Right, which I hope is the way it goes.
Yeah.
Well, time will tell.
Yeah. Oh, you're saying you don't want it to be some kind of like algorithmic way that's like, oh, this guy must be the authority because he has
this many views, but really somebody's gaming the system somehow, because there's going to be I have just this gut feeling.
Yeah.
That there's going to be some sort of new way to new black hat sort of tactic emerges from this announcement. But the other thing that was nice is ideally a lot of these changes are going to help small and medium businesses. He says that specifically towards the end of the 7-minute video.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of and you can see it already. If you look at searching, like if you search things to do right now in Google, you're going to get served up like this banner of local search results, and it's kind of in almost like a gallery format. It's definitely interesting to see where they're going, which brings us to Google Maps.
Absolutely. Great segue. So Google Maps is basically changing a bit. They're making Google Maps specifically more interactive. So plotting your own trips, really scary in my opinion, but also kind of cool, is plotting where you're going by how they know you would drive and how they know you'd travel. So by knowing which paths you normally like to take, tailoring your path from point A to point B to your needs, which I think is really kind of cool, but also creepy.
Yeah, I mean, it's already kind of evident in the Google Now, which runs on my Android phone, is it knows when I'm at work. How does it know when I'm at work? It knows if I leave location on, it knows when I'm at a certain when it knows that I drive from one point to the next point on average. It says, oh, you must be going to work. And then it looks at probably where I'm sending my emails from, my email address. I mean, it just knows, that I'm there. But the other interesting thing about Google Maps and learning this stuff is the interaction of search on a map, especially for people who are going into a new place, a new city. Like I'm going to Chicago for the first time at the end of June.
Oh, cool. Great.
So when I get there, that's what I'm going to punch in. Where do I eat? Other places to say. And I've got the new maps loaded up right here.
Right.
And, let's say we type in sushi restaurants.
Yep.
Let's see what happens. Now the map already bringing us, zooming in and bringing us into the different sushi places. Yeah.
Close
and
to where we are,
and showing on the map all the results.
Right.
So not a filtered view. And where we're at, there's not a lot of sushi restaurants, so there's only 6 on the map.
Right.
But that's one of the big things, and that's why it's important for SEO, because now there's not going to be any more filtering top 5, top 10. It's just going to show everything on a map, and then you're going to have to click through and explore that.
And via your reviews and what you like to eat, it's going to tailor that search. So I think it's more important than ever as a small business to be very specific with how you brand your food, the kind of quality of food you have or what type of food you serve. The example they give in the video for Google Maps new changes is fusion restaurants. If you would consider yourself a fusion restaurant, you should write that down as opposed to something a little bit more broad.
Right. And this is back to being an authority. So if you're content marketing for a restaurant, what are you the authority of? Right. If I'm the authority of sushi, then you're going to have to do a lot of marketing, a lot of content against sushi. But hopefully that translates to more people finding you about sushi. But if you do narrow down and you do become
the authority on fusion
sushi, whatever that might be, you'll be the result. You'll be the one that people are going to go to.
Right, which is why now is the best time to start to get started with that prior to these changes being made full circle.
Tip of the day.
Tip of the day,
Tip
right?
of the generation right
Tip
there.
of the generation.
Start now. Up next,
Google Plus.
And we're continuing with Google. There's Google I.O. It's all mostly
there's a
Google
lot of Google stuff that happens. So we want to cover that stuff for certain because that's going to change sort of how you market your business, and that's important. So Google Plus changes. I actually grabbed this stuff from an article by Samantha Murphy on Mashable. Though it was also talked about in the Google I.O. as well. Specifically for, again, a local or a small business, local reviews playing a bigger part in that Google Plus search when you're looking for restaurants or just businesses in general, things like that.
And it's been no secret we haven't hid this from anybody. It's Google Plus being tied directly into Google search.
Right.
It's an obvious impact on your search engine optimization. And Google Plus is rolling out feature after feature. Yeah. I mean, I can't even imagine what it's going to be like with Google Glass and Google Plus. I mean, I know my standpoint is now I'm just all in on Google Plus. Like I'm all in Google at this point. It's why we want to hit 1,000 fans because we're going to be able to do live shows. It's tremendous, and it's not just Google Hangouts. 8 to 10 people. This is a live broadcast. Anyone can watch it anywhere,
which is great.
No boundaries. So I can't wait for that. It's going to be awesome.
No boundaries. Just us. Outtake after outtake. Can't wait.
Yep, it's going to be awesome.
A couple other quick things though are you're going to have larger cover photos. So if you want to be a little more visual with your branding, a great opportunity to do so as well. Larger cover photos even than Facebook.
Ooh.
Controversy.
Even larger than Twitter. Wait a minute.
Right.
Twitter doesn't even have any.
Well.
Jump to the next one here. 10 unique ways small business can win at link earning part 1 of 2.
Part 1.
So has part 2 even been published yet?
No. We're going to talk about that in a second.
Sweet.
But this is from Pratik Dolakaya.
I thank you for taking that.
Yeah. This is on Search Engine Journal. And what it does is it gives you a few different ways as a small business for you to win at link earning. So when we're kind of rebranding, we're kind of relaunching as a result of a lot of these big, huge Google changes. It gives you a few organic ways to grow your website. We've talked about this before on the show, but just a few it goes out that we don't talk about as much. Getting in your local paper or local websites, like travel guides or what have you, so that you can basically be seen that way and have your link out there. befriending mom bloggers, I thought was a good one. That was like the 5th one. So people who are just going to be sort of blogging at will, getting in contact with them and getting these smaller groups to sort of talk about your business, your product, your service. And then hosting an event or sponsoring a charity, I thought was a great idea too. We've talked about that before, like going to meetups and things like that for whatever you're trying to sell. Pizza meetups if you're a pizza company or whatever it is.
Yeah, so this is definitely 10 unique ways to get earned links, link building. These are the ways that you have to be thinking now, because the ways of gaming, forums and blog posts and guest blog posting and all these other, mathematical ways to do it on the web, it's slowly starting to go away.
Yeah.
And you have to start thinking much more unique, much more brandable, authoritative, everything like that.
Right. Matt, my question for you is, how do you feel about this, the way this article is structured? 10 unique ways. Part 1 gives you 5 unique ways, makes you wait for the second part.
It's, it didn't really cross my mind, except for when I saw part 1 of part 2. And usually people don't say part 1. They usually just do it, and then part 2 comes out.
Right.
I don't know. It was kind of interesting, I guess.
I thought it was weird that it was 10 unique ways, but it's part 1, so there's only 5.
Yeah.
On the list.
Oh, good point. Yeah. Thinking about that.
Yeah. And you have to wait for the other 5 apparently.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of weird. And for me, like, it was a pretty cool article, but I wanted to make that point for the next article.
Yep.
Which is the advantages of long-form content. This comes from Barry Adams on State of Search. And what they found through their studies is long-form content just being longer articles, in case you were wondering. Longer articles with more resources, more information on them. I personally believe in those. I know that when I'm looking up something, I prefer to not go on a wild goose chase to 12 different websites to find out a couple different answers to a question I might have, where I can just get one long explanation of a lot of stuff, including maybe some stuff I didn't think about before. The old adage, you don't know what you don't know.
Right. It's surprisingly short articles.
Yeah.
About long form.
Yeah, I did notice that as well.
Blogging. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. 9,900 word piece on the diamond industry, written in 1982. Regularly appears at the top of the Atlantic.com traffic report. So, yeah, I mean, I guess he's right. The more long form you write, the more chances are. I mean, are people really going to read it? No. Are you going to get that that impact of, oh my God, this is such a long article? I am just going to share this because I think there's so much resource within these words,
But I think that as people start to get more savvy with the internet, it's kind of a nice thing. Like, you can have a table of contents at the top, or even just Control Command F is your best friend.
Right, I know. I
wanted to learn at something, and then there's this huge article, but rather than going all over the place, I can just go to this part of the page, and there's my.
That's a great point.
That's why I like that. That it also leads to lower bounce rates for your search engine optimization. So people are more likely to obviously stay and scroll through the page, more ad targeting, stuff like that. If that's what you're into.
Longer time on the site. So if you do have advertisement, chances are that they'll see that.
Exactly.
Good points. Great points.
Cool. So now we've come down to our resource of the week. 8 pro tips to dodge Penguin 2.0 penalization. The next generation of SEO. This comes from Manish Dudoragia.
You're finding all the tough ones today.
I know. I was thinking of that as I was writing them in. But what this one does for you, and this is from E2M Solutions, Ethical E-Marketing. This is basically very organic ways, or 8 tips to, as Penguin 2.0 comes out, to sort of separate yourself from the pack, give yourself that sustainable advantage in the future. And the couple ones that he talks about that I thought were new that you might want to look into were buying no-follow links, which I thought was interesting. So we had that issue with Interflora and BBC in the past where they were just spammy linking, and Google was kind of hitting them for it. This is basically saying, buy links from folks that aren't necessarily no follow, but maybe within your similar brand or similar sort of idea, so people can go to that website, find your link, and click on it. It doesn't really hurt your website because Google's not tracking that information, but it still just organically helps people find your information.
Yeah, and I hope he means by buying, you're not actually paying with a currency. You're paying with some kind of outreach. Because so this, let me start from the top. The reason why I appreciate you bringing in the article.
Yeah.
I necessarily do not like any article that tries to link bait you with dodge.
Yeah.
How to dodge penalization or how to, how to make content go viral. That's the one that drives me nuts the most because you can't, there's no formula for it. Right. It has to do with the market and sharing it. And if it connects, it connects. There's no formula. So kind of interesting. Some of these points are good. Others like saying buy no follow links. I think if Google were to find out you were buying any kind of link,
Yeah.
you're screwed.
Right.
No matter what.
Even if it's no follow, you think?
Even if it's no follow, yeah.
Interesting.
Yep. But I don't think he actually means, to actually pay for it.
Right.
I would hope he doesn't mean that.
Okay.
I think
maybe building
Yeah.
through.
Yeah. The sort of buying by sweat equity, I
Right.
guess,
Okay.
is a good,
Sure.
probably a good way to put
Sweat equity sounds good to me as well.
it. Nice.
Amongst those, also going social, stuff like that.
Yep.
And then producing content for brand impressions, which I thought was pretty cool. That's step number 7 on the list as you look through it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought was great too. Basically, building articles that help build your brand as opposed to just articles that have more links in them or other things, so people can kind of, your articles and your information is synonymous with your brand name.
Yeah. Good stuff. We hope you liked it for this week. Again, we do want to hit over 1,000 subscribers. So if you like what we're saying, go ahead and hit subscribe. We really, really appreciate it. Have any questions? Drop them in the comments below. We're looking for SEOers out there who want to join the podcast, so you can kind of talk about this stuff with us. So if that's of interest to you, also let us know. Reach out to us at slocumstudio.com/contact.
Yeah,
thanks a lot.
It'd be really cool. Sorry.
That's okay. It
would be really cool if we could have a live video with guests.
Yes.
So please get involved. Please do contact us. We really appreciate it. We'd really like to talk to you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys.